So once again, here we are hearing anecdotal information, hearing information that is just not true. It was my duty, and I would have been negligent of my duty if I had recused myself from that board. The decision made by that board was made on the merits of the case and the legalities of the case. But anyway, back to Mark's question, home rule is something that if the community wants it on, there are ways to do it. I will open up the forums, and I will make sure that the community gets it on the ballot if, in fact, that's what the community wants.
Very good. And Lynn, your thoughts on that?
Sure. First of all, I have never heard of anybody being put into a judicial type of role who would not have recourse to recusal. I've never heard of that. Certainly that strikes a blow for trusting government. Secondly, I really don't like the implication that home rule gives us an advantage when it comes to economic development. It sure could, but I don't think that's true. Here's what we've got. We've got overtaxation. We've got overregulation. We have lost out on businesses. I can give you a couple off the top of my head. Let's talk about Rayovac. DeKalb didn't get Rayovac. Dixon did. Dixon, non-home rule. Rochelle got CSU Industries. Rochelle, non-home rule. So you don't have to be a home rule community to attract economic development, and in fact, abuse of home rule can actually go the other way, and I think we're seeing that there. That being said, where I stand on home rule is, I, from the first said, let the people decide, let's let people vote on it. And in fact, taking away home rule puts the power of petition back into the hands of the voters. But again, we're talking about maybe a machete versus scalpel thing here. And what I truly support at this time is to take the first 2 years in office and put together a citizens committees right in the wards, the aldermen can do this, to come up with a charter that would curb the most egregious abuses. The charter could address taxation, limits to taxation, limits to regulation, limits to incurring more debt. I'm very concerned about the debt. And then it can be voted on. It could be voted on. So there you go. You would have citizen input right there, and you would curb the most egregious abuses of home rule by doing that.
Gentlemen, it's an open forum. Something else?
I would like to address Acting Mayor Povlsen's statements about that we didn't understand or didn't know the stuff that's going on there, or making a statement without the facts. The facts are this. When we were at this, the three of us were at the Student Association's question and answer period up at Northern Illinois University at Home Center. I made a statement that this council under his administration, or when he was an alderman, wanted to put an $84 a year tax on the water meters. That's the way I understood it for 20 years. What Acting Mayor Povlsen's statement was is that he could understand how someone could confuse the issue, like he's talking about now, could confuse the issue if they weren't on the inside. My problem is why is there an inside and why is there an outside? And he just said a few minutes ago that he has open government here. Well, they have a closed meeting prior to the city council. Then they come out and have the public city council meeting on Channel 14 here for a little while, and then they go into closed session again. I understand that when they're talking about a personality or a contract, that you need to go into executive session on occasion, but not at before and after every meeting. Yet he sits here and claims that he has open government. He said that he's campaigning. He said that he has been against the police station. Now that he's the acting mayor, he's the hero that stopped the police station. He did not. On 65 occasions, he forgot that the city council meetings are a record of public information. On 65 occasions, he either made the motion, seconded, or voted for the police station or the acquisition of the land. And on 6 occasions, he said we not only need a new police station, we must have a new police station. Now he tells us, after a public uproar, that he is the hero that stopped the police station when he became acting mayor. He tells us publicly when he's campaigning that he was a unanimous pick of the city council. When everyone knows behind closed doors, the first pick was somebody that was retiring, not going to run for public office. And after a bitter debate behind closed doors, one alderman gave in and said, okay, if he wants it that bad, he's got the longevity, let him have it so we can move forward. Now, that doesn't sound unanimous to me. And if we are listening to the integrity that the Honorable Mr. Povlsen has, then why are we being misled there? If we're being misled there on those two occasions, I believe that we could be being misled in many occasions.
Chris, a response to that?
It's a shame that at a local election time we're hearing smear campaigns of untruths. And we've seen that a lot at the federal and the state level. But it's unfortunate that I think that our citizens have to listen to those kind of campaigns and those kind of campaign untruths here at the local level. That really saddens me that it's brought to this level. In terms of closed sessions, the closed sessions by law require that whenever we're going to look at purchasing property, whenever there are personnel issues or whether there's pending litigation, that we must and should do that. I don't think this is the kind of information that our public wants to hear or should hear when we're dealing with personal issues or pending litigation or purchasing land on the behalf of the taxpayers. And so I think to use the closed door session as a smokescreen is just inappropriate. Referring to the inside and the outside, people remain on the outside only if they choose to remain on the outside. One of my opponents here, I've never seen at a city council meeting. I've never seen him come in and talk during a budgetary meeting. I've never seen him sit down with me and let's go line item by line item. By the outside, I mean people who choose to be on the outside and then come in at the 11th hour and say that government's closed. And so I think that's unfortunate. In terms of the police station, we started the police station process about 6 years ago. We've had citizen input, we had citizen advisory committee, we had citizen involvement, and that's really what my government has always been about in my leading this government. There was an advisory committee of citizens that came forward and said, we need a new station. It's time for a new station. In fact, we need to figure out a way to sell the citizens, and this was a quote from one of them on how to pay for this police station. And we listened to that. What happened, however, between the time that committee started and when we started the whole process was, in fact, a turn in the economy. And I think it didn't take very long, even after the recommendations of the Citizens Advisory Committee, to learn that if we're having problems meeting the needs of paying for the staff that we have, these first responders, it's not the time to build a police station. And so I, along with my other fellow councilmen at the time, made a decision that we need to put the police station on hold. That's the water hookup fee that he's talking about. I oppose that because of the turn in the economy. So these are the issues that we're really dealing with, and I really want the citizens to understand this, and I really would like the last 10 days of this campaign to not be a smear tactic and not using misquotes.
1360 WLBK, you're listening to Decision 2009. We're hearing from the three candidates for mayor of DeKalb. We intended to take a break at the bottom of the hour, but this is too good to take a break, so let's keep it going. And if people want to call in, they can at 758-8688. Now, the subject of the police, new police department was brought up, and let's stay with that if we can, in terms of whether we need a new police department or not. And Lynn, it's your turn to chime in. What are your feelings about whether we need a new police department, or what are your thoughts as mayor concerning the police department?
I felt really bad for the police facility advisory committee. Here's why. Their hands were tied, and I can't to this day figure out why. They were not allowed to consider another site. They were not allowed to consider any other option besides building a new building. And the police station has been overcrowded for, at least the past 10 years, and where's the plan? Where's the plan? So you get citizen involvement, and then their hands are tied. So